The American Revolution, a momentous chapter in the annals of history, marked a turning point in the relationship between Great Britain and its American colonies. From a British perspective, the Revolution was a complex and challenging period, one that tested the very fabric of the British Empire. In the years leading up to the Revolution, tensions had been simmering between Great Britain and its colonies across the Atlantic. The seeds of discord were sown in a complex web of economic interests, political ideologies, and cultural differences. As we delve into the British perspective on the American Revolution, we embark on a journey that unveils the perceptions, motivations, and consequences of this historical watershed moment. Before the Revolution, the American colonies were often viewed with a mixture of pride and pragmatism in Britain. The colonies represented an extension of British power and influence on the world stage, a source of raw materials, and a market for British goods. The British people took pride in the colonies' growth and prosperity, seeing them as a testament to British ingenuity and enterprise. The colonies were home to a growing population of British subjects, bound by ties of language, culture, and kinship. However, there were also underlying tensions and differing perspectives. The vast distance separating Britain from its American colonies fostered a sense of independence and self-reliance among the colonists. The spark that ignited the American Revolution can be traced to a series of British policies aimed at asserting greater control over the colonies and generating revenue to offset the costs of imperial defense. Following the costly 7 Years' War, the British government sought to recover its finances by imposing taxes on the colonies. The Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, and the Townshend Acts were met with fierce resistance from the colonists, who viewed them as infringements upon their rights and liberties. The colonists' rallying cry of "no taxation without representation" resonated deeply in Britain, where principles of parliamentary sovereignty and individual rights were held dear. The growing conflict in America sparked heated debates in British society. The tensions between Great Britain and its American colonies reached a boiling point with the Boston Tea Party in 1773, a dramatic act of defiance against British tea taxes. The British government responded with a series of punitive measures known as the Intolerable Acts. In 1775, armed conflict erupted at Lexington and Concord, marking the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. The outbreak of war sent shockwaves through British society, dividing public opinion and plunging the nation into a costly and divisive conflict. The British government, initially confident of a swift victory, found itself facing a determined and resourceful enemy in the American colonists. Section 5. A Distant Battlefield. The American War Through British Eyes. The American Revolutionary War was fought on a distant continent, thousands of miles from the shores of Britain. News from the battlefield was often slow to arrive and subject to delays and propaganda, making it challenging for the British public to form a clear picture of the conflict. Despite the geographical distance, the war had a profound impact on British society. The conflict placed a heavy financial burden on the British people, leading to increased taxes and economic hardship. Moreover, the war sparked intense political debates, with some Britons supporting the government's efforts to crush the rebellion, while others sympathized with the colonists' cause. Section 6. Leading the Realm: British Figures and the American Question. The American Revolution witnessed the rise and fall of prominent British figures who played pivotal roles in shaping the course of the conflict. These individuals, through their decisions and actions, left an indelible mark on history. King George III, determined to assert his authority over the colonies, became a symbol of British resolve. His unwavering stance against the American rebellion was both a source of strength and a point of contention within the British government. Prime Minister Lord North, tasked with navigating the complexities of the war, faced mounting criticism for his handling of the conflict. His policies and decisions were often scrutinized, and his leadership was tested as the war dragged on. General William Howe and General Charles Cornwallis led British forces in America, achieving early victories but ultimately facing setbacks. Their military strategies and engagements were crucial in the unfolding drama of the war, influencing both British and American tactics. The decisions and actions of these leaders had far-reaching consequences, not only for the outcome of the war, but also for the future of the British Empire. Their legacies are a testament to the complexities and challenges of leadership during one of the most turbulent times in British history. The American Revolution was not just a battle for independence. It was a crucible that tested the mettle of British leadership and reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the era. Section 7. Shifting Tides, the Course of the War and Public Opinion. The American Revolutionary War was a protracted and costly conflict, marked by both British victories and defeats. The war, which began in 1775, saw numerous battles and skirmishes that tested the resolve and resources of both sides. Early British successes, such as the capture of New York City, were followed by significant setbacks, including the pivotal surrender at Saratoga in 1777. This victory for the American forces was a turning point, boosting morale and securing crucial international support. As the war dragged on, public opinion in Britain began to shift. The initial enthusiasm and confidence in a swift victory gave way to frustration and doubt. Reports of the ongoing conflict and its toll on soldiers and civilians alike began to permeate British society. The mounting costs, both financial and in terms of human life, led to growing calls for peace. Debates in the British Parliament became increasingly heated, with some members advocating for a negotiated settlement to end the war. The entry of France into the war on the side of the Americans further complicated matters for Britain. French support provided the American forces with additional troops, supplies, and naval power, tipping the balance in their favor. The war exposed deep divisions within British society, with some questioning the morality and wisdom of continuing the conflict against their fellow countrymen in America. Intellectuals, politicians, and ordinary citizens engaged in fervent debates about the justness of the war and the future of the British Empire. Ultimately, the combination of military setbacks, shifting public opinion, and international pressure led to the end of the war. The signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1783 marked the official conclusion of the conflict, recognizing American independence and reshaping the geopolitical landscape of the time. The end of the war was met with mixed reactions in Britain. While some were relieved that the costly conflict was over, others lamented the loss of the American colonies. In America, the news was met with widespread celebration and a sense of newfound freedom and possibility. Section 8. Defeat and its aftermath, the British surrender and its impacts. The American Revolution culminated in the British surrender at Yorktown in 1781, effectively ending the war in favor of the American colonists. The news of the defeat sent shockwaves through British society, leading to a period of soul-searching and reflection. The loss of the American colonies had profound consequences for Britain. The war had drained the British treasury, leaving the nation with a significant debt. It also forced Britain to confront the limitations of its imperial power and to reconsider its relationship with its remaining colonies. The American Revolution marked a turning point in British history, ushering in an era of reform and reevaluation. Section 9. Reflections on a Revolution, the Enduring Legacy of American Independence. The American Revolution, a monumental event in the annals of history, continues to resonate through the ages. It was a time when the colonies, driven by a desire for self-governance and liberty, stood up against the might of the British Empire. The American Revolution, viewed through the lens of British history, stands as a testament to the enduring power of ideas such as liberty, self-determination, and representative government. These ideals were not just abstract concepts, but were fervently pursued and fought for by the colonists, who envisioned a new kind of nation. While the war resulted in the loss of its American colonies, Britain learned valuable lessons from the conflict, leading to reforms and a more nuanced approach to colonial governance. The British Parliament, recognizing the need for change, began to implement policies that would prevent such uprisings in other parts of the empire. The American Revolution also inspired movements for political and social change within Britain itself. The ideals of liberty and self-determination echoed across the Atlantic, influencing British citizens to demand more rights and representation. This period saw the rise of social movements that sought to address inequalities and push for a more democratic society. The American Revolution remains a pivotal event in world history, shaping the destiny of both Great Britain and the United States. The battles fought and the sacrifices made during this period laid the foundation for the modern principles of democracy and governance that we hold dear today. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of adversity and division, the pursuit of freedom and self-government can prevail. The legacy of the American Revolution is not just a historical footnote, but a living testament to the enduring power of human aspiration and the relentless quest for a better, freer world.